Junior's in charge of our friends and our lives. Uncle Junior's in charge of our friends and our lives.
And I want Junior in charge of me. God damn.
I want Junior in charge of me.
What an intro that was. The three iconic heads of this channel, that being, of course, Tony Soprano, Zac The Ripper Comics from ZacTheRipper.com, and, of course, Chris Wylde, professional wrestler Chris Wylde, known as Christopher, here today. What is going on, Zac? It feels like it's been a long time since we've done an actual Sopranos review.
Yeah,
it was that Many Saints of Newark movie. I think it kind of took a lot out of us.
It did, and it spawned off multiple creations, one of those being the official SopranBros YouTube channel that you can go over to at youtube.com/SopranBros. You can watch it on Chris Wylde's channel, you can watch it on ZacTheRipper.com, or you can go to SopranBros over on YouTube.
We're everywhere, man.
We are
everywhere right now. And that movie, by the way, just to kind of do some good housekeeping, is that what they call it?
It is housekeeping. Yeah.
That movie has gotten a lot of bad reviews, man. I feel like we are one of the only optimistic reviews out there about the movie. I've seen a lot of I don't know, unwarranted, I guess. Maybe it's because that we're fans of the show. We kind of dig deep into every episode that we kind of maybe understand it a little bit better. But yeah, I've seen a lot of negative stuff. So if you guys want to see a positive Sopranos movie, the Many Saints of Newark review, please check out the one. It's probably right underneath this video, maybe a couple videos down.
It's probably like right around here.
Oh, down where?
Down there.
Down where, you ask? You know where.
How old am I?
Dude, we're at that age where that used to be cool. Now kids are watching that like, what are these guys doing? Like,
yeah,
we probably got to report YouTube. They're going to report us to YouTube. But today we get the privilege of coming to you guys with episode 4, season 1, the Meadowlands, as it was called. Now look,
I would call this right off the bat the Meadowlands, because this episode, I'm just going to give you my score right up front. Perfect, 5 out of 5.
Really?
This episode is the meta of Sopranos, in my opinion.
Man, listen. So I love this. I love that you said that, and I love that you said it right away. Because for me, this was not one of my favorite episodes, man.
Wow.
It was not. It felt kind of I don't want to say boring, but it was just not, I don't know. It wasn't as, it didn't have that funny factor, but we'll see. In full transparency, guys, we watched this episode before we watched the Many Saints of Newark movie. Yes. Obviously, with that coming out, we had to review that first. So, this is going to be fun looking at the notes and kind of remembering this episode as it was. It was directed by John Patterson. I'm not sure if he directed many other Sopranos episodes, but I mean,
while we're doing full transparency, Chris Wylde,
yes,
we have to be fully transparent that I watched these episodes under the influence of of Medical KUSH, and I am under the influence
Medical
of
KUSH.
Medical KUSH.
Yeah,
of Medical KUSH.
Okay.
So watching these episodes for the first time again through those eyes.
Yeah.
Through these eyes.
I was waiting for it. Now, who sings that song? Is that an original? Is that because if you're new to this channel, ZacTheRipper.com loves to sing. So
no, that's the one from Superbad when he's in the bedroom. I thought you could. Can't you sing, McLovin?
Oh yes, yes.
These eyes are never gonna shine on the medicine.
Oh man, watch along of Superbad coming up.
Coming up
Soon.
soon to a SopranBros theater near you.
Oh man, so
Back to
You know what?
Shapansky. What was his
and
name?
look, John Patterson, but I feel like I got to get this out of. I'm gonna put these down for a minute.
Put it down,
so,
dude.
yeah,
Wait,
just-
just put it down. Put your feet up, relax.
Yeah,
Pop a truly.
I got to figure out so how have things been for you since the Many Saints in Newark review? What's been going on in the world of Zac The Ripper Comics?
I don't remember.
Medical KUSH, everybody. Medical.
What's been going on?
All right. Oh man. There you go, guys. The watch time of this is now.
And that's about it. That's about it. How about you?
Absolutely awesome.
How about you?
Hey, so just coming to this episode called the Meadowlands, that might be the reason why I don't like it, because I am a Philadelphia native, a true Philadelphia Eagles fan, and
Well,
the Giants play in the Meadowlands.
the first
They
night, that's the wrong word.
There he goes. Do that again.
The first note I have for this, Chris, I have the Meadowlands near and dear to my heart, and I know you know why. But these people might not know why, because the Meadowlands is where I had my first stadium WWE tryout match.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's
So
great.
it's near and dear to my heart. I don't give a fuck about the Giants. I mean, I don't really care. And that's you too, Jeremy Havoc. I know you're out there
He's out there watching this.
creeping.
Yeah,
Your fucking t-shirts still in space.
They're not all bad. Not all Giants fans are bad. Shout out to Nicole, but they are. Nicole is a Giants fan. Yes, she is. She is a Giants fan. So at the end of the last episode, Christopher shit his pants at the Meadowlands.
That's right.
Where
With the
Mox-
Russians.
Yes, Mox, not Mox, Mox. Mox execution.
AE dub.
Oh, book me.
Go Finn. Go Finn. Go Finn.
All right. Okay.
Book AEW.
Chris Wilde.
Book Chris.
Christmas Wild. Book Christmas Wild.
You're the son. You're the son of the Christmas creature. The Kane. Remember Kane? He was the Christmas creature.
Yeah.
Okay. Where were we?
Now this episode has a couple guest stars. One in particular that might be talk about Christmas. One that might be near and dear to your heart, and that's John Harold as he takes the role of the crooked cop Vin Makazian. Jerry Adler's back as Hesh. We got Michael Rispoli in his last appearance as Jackie Aprile.
This
And
is
then-
Peter McAllister,
Yes,
the father.
we're gonna get back to that. We are going to definitely get into him.
Hold on. I'm gonna elaborate on that later.
So let's get right into scene one. Let's go right into scene one. By the way, guys,
Big
we're 20
pussy.
minutes into this.
Big pussy.
No, not scene. He's not in scene one.
He's my next.
Well, he is, but he isn't. We start scene one in Melfi's office. She's looking a little bit extra sexy than normal. She's kind of twirling her foot around. You see Tony. He smiles and he looks at her and says, "Are you going to say something or what?" Right off the bat, I found this as weird because he was in control. Then all of a sudden, you see Hesh in the windows. His head, yes, like my Uncle Bill, just gliding, but he wasn't walking. He was just gliding. So right off the bat, you're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? What is going on here? And
Schmo.
and Tony freaks out. Melfi says, that's Heshi, not Hesh. Heshi. He's got a 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, which if any of you are watching and are have seen this series before, 3 o'clock is like everywhere for what I wish I knew what it meant.
It's also
in
on
this- in this
Patreon,
series.
which
There you go.
I'm a play the thing.
Hold on. I'm gonna elaborate on that later.
It's funnier the second time. So you see Tony goes to the door. AJ is creepy. He's like looking through it. Now we understand this is a dream. The first dream sequence in The Sopranos, which this series has tons of awesome dream sequences. And I'm sure later on in the series, we'll talk about some of our own dream sequences that we might have had that might have been like some of these.
Shit.
So Tony goes to the lobby. His whole crew's there. Silvio is having intercourse with a stripper. Having intercourse. This is the SopranBros. He's fucking a stripper, guys. It's just
Having intercourse.
what is this? Health class? Next on SopranBros, we show how to put a condom on.
Yep.
Paulie's sitting there with reading the paper. Gives Tony a dirty look, of course, as Paulie would. Tony goes back in the room. There you see Jackie smoking on a hospital bed. He looks sick as shit. And he says, thunderstorms, can you smell the rain? This is what happens next is one of the most terrifying and horrifying things you'll ever see. It is Halloween time. If you want to get scared, don't watch any of the new horror films. Don't watch the new Chucky series on USA. Watch this scene. It will scare you to death. As you see the back of Jennifer Melfi, Tony turns her around, and it's motherfucking Livia. It is his mother, looking as horrible and as decrepit as she ever has. Tony then wakes up at his girlfriend's house, the Russian girlfriend.
I don't even want to say rest in peace.
After that, I don't either. You know how hard it was for me to get excited after seeing that? Days.
I have in capitals. Tony's dreams are always awesome. And like you said, this is the first of many to come. If you're into them, or if you at least thought they were weird, fucking strap in, because they are weird and they are fun. And I thought it was awesome.
There's so many different things that go into those.
Yeah.
Now we get to the next scene where Tony comes home from the girlfriend's house. AJ's playing Mario Kart, right?
Yup. Little N64 action.
Yes.
Now little fat ass bitch. I ask you, are the SopranBros entering the world of gaming?
Maybe it's a possibility. It really is. You never know.
You never know.
There's tons of gaming stuff on Zac The Ripper Comics on YouTube. Tons of gaming stuff. Yeah. Well, there used to be anyway. Whoa. So, but here's my problem with this. They are obviously not really playing Mario Kart.
Oh no.
That pissed me off and it irritated me. The way Tony's holding the controller, the way the little fat ass.
Yeah. Tony? You could tell Tony hasn't touched anything since the at least Atari 2600.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, that's the joystick. And he's like, he's holding the handle.
Like, why would they show him how to do that? Or at least, whatever. Tony has a great line, though, where he puts his hand over AJ's eye and says, I'm kicking your ass now, one-handed. I'm kicking your ass now, one-handed.
Little fat ass bitch.
He also tells AJ that a dumpster at Barone Sanitation malfunctioned. That's where he was. Just so stupid, which that comes into later, where AJ still believes his dad's a trash guy. At that point, this is where you know what I said. There wasn't many funny things here. This is actually the next scene is actually kind of hilarious to me. As like I said, the last time we saw Christopher, he was mock executed, where Junior sent some Russians to send him a message. Now, of course, he gave Tony's daughter, Meadow, some crystal meth to help her get through finals and stuff like that. He thought Tony knew about this. Then that Tony sent the guys. So, do you have any notes on this scene in particular?
I'm not. My next note has to do with Brendan, so I'm not sure.
Right. Well,
I don't remember the scene.
You know, we do a lot with like pictures and some video clips on this. I want to give a little bit of better representation of how I saw Christopher. If you could just talk about something for a second.
What I would like to talk to all of you about right now is saying no to drugs. Now, you're going to do drugs. You're going to be prescribed drugs. You're going to be...
This is how I'm going to do this scene. This is how Christopher comes out of the hospital. Like, and I don't get it because they didn't hurt his neck. You know, he's got the shades on.
He's smoking, right?
I don't know if he's smoking at that point. But
hold on, you do that. I'll do the smoking part.
All right.
Nailed it.
Out.
Fucking nailed it.
So Chris comes out and he's paranoid about Tony wanting him dead. Adriana, of course, being the, she loves this guy. She's here to pick him up. But she brings up the fact that Chris shit his pants. Like, why would you do this? They get to Brendan's, and Brendan Falone, the piece of shit that he is dead as he got shot by Mikey Parisi in the last episode. And they find him in the bathtub. Really, a little bit more gory than it was when it actually happened. There's a fly buzzing around. And now Christopher is really fucking paranoid.
Well, I have two notes here. And again, I watched this completely medically cushed up. These could be notes about what I saw, or these could be notes about maybe future t-shirts. The first one is Brendan, more like Dedrin.
Yes.
And
yes, I like it.
The next one is Brand Dead.
There you go. Brand Dead Falone. Love it.
So I forgot you had that shit on. Oh man. Yeah, so that's what I had.
Shit.
Can't see shit.
All right. So yeah, a really funny scene, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next,
we made it even funnier.
One of the things I hated about this episode was this next storyline that starts. The next scene 4 is at AJ's school. AJ is fucking around with some kid, sends a message to his pager. Remember those kids? Google it. And he writes
Page
your mom
or
he writes your mom blows. It's like, okay. That's funny.
That's funny. I mean, I'm 24 and it makes me laugh. You know what I mean?
The kid calls him a fat fart knocker.
Those are fighting words, bro.
Oh, they fight, and AJ's shirt gets ripped. So look out. We go to Melfi's office hallway.
Hold on real quick. I just had a question. Is that AJ's teacher, or was that the Green Goblin as played by Willem Dafoe? Because that motherfucker's face looked like when Alec Baldwin in Ghost Beetlejuice pulled his fucking...
You're right. Terrifying. As a kid, are you kidding me?
Again, this is the horror episode of SopranBros.
Oh my God, you're right.
Olivia, you have this fuck looking like Alec Baldwin in Beetlejuice.
The Halloween episode.
Beetlejuice.
SopranBros. Wow, that's unbelievable. All right, we go now. This is the first and last time this is ever shown in the series. Melfi's hallway. Tony's walking to go to Melfi's, and Silvio comes out of the dentist. So Tony has to hide. Like, why couldn't you just say you were going to the dentist? Like, why'd you have to hide? Whatever.
Yeah.
So
he's just paranoia.
He's paranoid. He's irritated in there with Melfi, and he tells her he's having second thoughts about security. And she's like, I told you I'm not going to tell anybody anything unless you tell me that you committed a crime. and he's like, somebody finds out, all of a sudden I become a celebrity. And then he says to her, who are you? Who are you? And he asks, and this is kind of a funny scene because he asks her, if I asked you who you were, what you did, what your everyday life was like, what would you tell me? And she says to him, I'd plead the fifth. And then they both stare at each other, and he said, oh yeah, that's cute, because that's what mobsters do.
Yeah,
when they're in court, they plead the fifth.
Yeah,
and she kind of giggles a little bit, and it kind of calms Tony down. Anything on this one? Anything on this?
Again, with this, when I said this is the Meadowlands, I think this episode sets the tone for their relationship to come.
Yeah.
I think, like, it's fantastic. And like, again, he's furious, right?
Yeah.
He's paranoid going in. Then he's furious because she's just sitting there looking at him. And then she makes this joke, and it works. It gets through to him. And when she makes the giggle, it's like, is there an attraction on her end also?
And the best part about it is she didn't mean to make the joke. You know what I mean? Like, it just came out. It just happened, which shows like there's a chemistry there,
a comfortability. Yeah,
a little bit on both sides, which really it's not supposed to be with this, the therapist.
Correct.
We go to Christopher's Jeep. Aid's driving this Jeep, or is she? Aid and Chris pick up Meadow from her school because, of course, he thinks Meadow said something to Tony about the drugs. He freaks out on her, but she's not taking his shit. Like, she stands her ground, and is saying, "I would never tell him. Why would I tell him that?" Chris offers to buy her McDonald's, which is weird. Now, here's the thing, and here's one of the things. I don't know if you picked up on this, but if you didn't,
real
go
quick,
back.
Wait, I have a question, Chris.
Yeah.
Podcast within a podcast. The first ever. What is the top tier item at McDonald's?
Good morning, class. Today we're going to learn the McDonald's menu song and give a listener out there a chance to win $1 million. So, repeat after me.
Repeat after me.
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Here goes.
Here goes.
Big Mac, McDLT, a quarter pounder with some cheese fillet, a fish, a hamburger, a cheeseburger, a Happy Meal, McNuggets, tasty golden French fries, regular or larger size, a salad, chef or garden, or a chicken salad, Oriental, Big breakfast, steak, McMuffin, hot cakes and sausage, maybe biscuits, bacon, egg and cheese, or sausage, Danish hash brown stew, and for dessert, hot apple pies and sundaes, 3 varieties of salsa, corn, 3 kinds of shakes, and chocolate chip cookies, and a drink, a Coca-Cola, Diet Coke, an orange drink, a Sprite, and coffee, decaf, 2, a low-fat milk, also an orange juice. I love McDonald's, good time, great taste, and I get this all at one place. Got it?
Chris, what is the absolute number one top tier thing that if you're going to McDonald's, and I know a man, professional wrestler like myself, does not go there unless it's absolutely necessary. You are a father. I know that there's times where you might have to, unfortunately, if you do personally for yourself, the number one item you're going to go with at McDonald's is what?
I'm getting that double cheeseburger meal. 2 double cheeseburgers, a large fry. But there's not many cheeseburgers in these.
No, that's true. That's true.
But if I have to, yeah, that's what I'm going with. What about you? You look like a Big Mac guy.
No, I'm not a Big Mac guy. I never understood the Big Mac because who wants more bread?
The bread in the middle. What the fuck is that?
It's the dumbest fucking thing ever, right?
Horrible.
And I'll tell you, man, from a kid to an adult, it's changed. It's changed. As a kid, it was that apple pie. Couldn't go wrong with the apple pie.
Yeah.
As an adult, I guess it's got to be the chicken nugget. Like, it's just got to be the chicken nugget.
It seemed so sad when you said that.
Yeah, because that's like everybody's go-to. That or the fries, right? And I don't like to trend that line. So, but I got to go with it. So that welcome our Bentley's messages. We'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Go ahead, Chris. Pick it up from there.
So one of the things about this scene, I don't know if you realized it, but if you did, check it out. Or if you didn't, go check it out. I mean, so all the far shots of the Jeep.
Okay.
There's a woman driving that Jeep. It is not Adriana.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who it is. Why they would use maybe she didn't know how to drive the Jeep.
It's possible.
Because Meadow's there, Christopher's there. but there's a different woman driving the Jeep from the far shots. When they're inside, it's her.
Huh.
It's so they don't even try to hide it. It's so insane to me.
I will have to go back and watch that unless you can find a clip and add it in or something.
But when she says
by clip, I mean picture.
Yeah, because HBO. They're probably gonna give us a copyright strike because I'm using this neck brace.
HBO, more like fucking your sister's cunt.
Yes.
Your sister's cunt.
The next scene is in AJ's room. Again, I hate this storyline. I'm gonna breeze through it. Carmela asked him what happened to the shirt. You don't want to tell her. Apparently, this AJ and this kid were like good friends back in camp or something. And Carmela's like, you owe me $40 for the shirt. He offers to clean her car, and she's like, you don't even do a good job when you do it anyway. So Carmela being a absolute, you know what. All right, that was that. Now we go into the retirement community where that old bag Livia is. And this is a funny ass scene to me. Tony, and you know what, by the way, we talk about the food here. We had the menu, the last episode of the food that happens in the Sopranos.
Yes, we did.
There's only one food item in this whole episode, and it's in this scene.
Okay.
Tony brings that pastry box that I'm gonna get a hold of one for one of these episodes. He brings that pastry box and he says, "Hey Ma, I've got macaroons. They're your favorite." You see her face light up for half a second, and then because she can't be happy and she's got to be miserable and she's got to make Tony feel like an asshole, she says, they're too sweet for me. And he's like, but they're your favorites. And she wanted them, you could tell.
Yeah.
But she could not let him know. Yep. So he sits down with her, asks her, tells her about a field trip that the retirement place is going to, nursing home, is going to the city. She says, the city is basically, she says the city's messed up. She says, I don't know if you picked up on this, grown men soiling themselves, which is a nod to Christopher shitting himself.
Oh, I did not put that together.
Yeah. She says, and then she's got this thing about babies being killed because she feels like she was a bad mom. And she says kids being thrown out the windows by their mothers. So Tony, of course, kind of says to her, like, you're not taking advantage of your opportunities. You're in the best retirement community in Jersey. He gets pissed off, goes to leave. I love this because he grabs the macaroons and you can see the dread on her face. Like,
yeah,
where are you going with? Yeah, she was going to eat them when he left.
Yeah.
And she goes, what are you doing with those? And he's like, I'm leaving. And she goes, just leave them for the lunatics. So he throws like 4 of them on a plate. And we meet after this Mr. Kevin McAllister, right? Is that
Peter McAllister?
Peter McAllister, Kevin's dad.
Father.
So we meet Peter McAllister from Home Alone. His name is Vin Marchesian. In this, he is a crooked, dirty cop that Tony gets. He's a degenerate gambler.
Peter McAllister down on his luck is what this is. Yes. I don't care what name you give him. It's Peter McAllister. That motherfucker had 92 kids that he was taking to France. Fuck this. He's down on his luck, but he's dead now forever. Like real life.
Yeah.
Dead.
He died of COVID, right? Did he die of COVID?
No, he died before that, I think.
No. But
he's dead, though.
And apparently a note on him, apparently he was really hard to deal with. Like that's why his career kind of ended after this. Like he did The Sopranos and Home Alone, and that's a couple other things, and that was it. He said in interviews that he was so hard to deal with, and I think he was a drunk too, kind of like in this. But yeah, I agree. They should have just called him Peter McAllister. That was just a better story. That's why, yeah. So Tony wants info on Melfi. He gives him all Melfi's information. McAllister's like, is this somebody that you're, is this your guma or something? And Tony's like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, when you meet Peter McAllister, he's taking a piss in a bush outside the retirement home.
That's what I'm saying. He's done. He's down on his luck. She took the house. Kevin McAllister's a piece of shit. He's a fucking fan of some dumbass wrestling shit.
So we get to the hospital where Jackie Aprile is. I like this scene because it's guys acting sadder than they really are, just because they have to, because he's the boss. You go to the hospital, the whole crew's there. Tony, Silvio, Paulie, Pussy. So there is a pussy sighting in this. By the way, so last week there wasn't a pussy sighting. There was no big pussy in that episode.
No.
I say last week like it was really last week, but episode
Last
3,
episode, yeah.
Yeah, there was no pussy sighting. This one we got a pussy sighting.
We did.
And you know,
big.
and he's
a big one.
There's still pussy sightings everywhere, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like even
lots of pussy to come.
So even with today, it being Halloween, there's pussy sightings. He is still making waves. And what do I mean by that?
Hey, it's me, the Gabagool. And today, I'm gonna teach you how to make these Dietz and Watson hoagie bites for your Halloween guests. But on, this is friggin' delicious. Not for nothing. But now, you gotta chop them into little pieces so your guests can enjoy them. See what I'm saying? Here you go. Tasty hoagie bites.
So
I've never seen that.
So with that being said, that's what happens.
Gabagool.
That's what happens when you become a rat. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
You become that. I couldn't even recognize him if it wasn't his voice.
The Gabagool.
So they're in there with Jackie. He's about to die.
Yeah.
Tony says, "What kind of God?" Because he's got to show that he's so upset.
Yeah. And he's got to say something better than anybody else has said so far. You know?
Here comes Christopher on fire about Brendan being shot, and it had to be Junior. Just wrong place, wrong time. There's a great scene where Pussy explains to Paulie how Brendan was shot in the eye, kind of like Mo Green was in The Godfather. And he says Mo's eyes got too big for his stomach, so he got one in the eye. Jackie then mutters, and this is creepy, man, because this is before the tragedy of 9/11. Jackie muttered. Do you know what Jackie muttered here? In this state of death and delusion? He mutters, "I'm at the World Trade Center." Yep. And then Chris goes right into wanting to kill Mikey. Tony tells him he can't because Mikey's a made guy. And now Tony has Paulie watch Chris. Paulie puts his hands up right away and that's a prison thing, because Paulie was in the can. Like, you want to be prepared, so you keep your hands like this, which is why he always does. Tony leaves and he grabs a stapler from one of the construction workers working in the hospital. This next scene's one of my favorite ones. Do you have anything on that? Any notes on that hospital scene?
I don't know. I have some notes and I don't know when they're from.
Go ahead.
The first one is break his other neck.
I'm not sure. Probably talking about Christopher. Oh, because Tony said that to Christopher. Tony said, if you don't calm down, I'll break your other fucking neck. Yeah.
Okay. So I say break his other neck because Christopher's really fucking annoying right here.
Yeah.
Then I have beat his ass, LOL, took out his shitty life on him, LOL.
That's probably what happens next. We go to Junior's hangout, which you
Okay.
don't really, again, you don't see much after this, I don't think.
Not until his hangout. No, I thought you meant his house. Yeah.
It's like a little shitty restaurant, a little diner.
Yeah.
Junior's in there telling jokes and everybody's laughing because, you kind of have to. But Tony sees Mikey Parisi in the parking lot and beats the living shit out of Mikey with the stapler. He's stapling Mikey Parisi. And then, kind of like Michael in The Godfather, drops the stapler in the street like it was a gun. He goes into Junior's hangout while Junior's telling the joke. You remember the joke that Junior says?
Nope.
He says, "You ever heard about the Chinese Godfather?"
Mm-mm.
He made them an offer they couldn't understand.
That's so dumb.
It's retarded. Tony walks in there pissed, asks Junior if he's going to stop it before it gets out of hand. Junior tells Tony that he threw his mother in an asylum. Meanwhile, it's like the best place in North Jersey.
It's nicer than Junior's house.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. We'll get to that soon.
Yeah.
And then he brings up Christopher shitting himself again, but he says he gave Christopher a high colonic. They're all over this kid with the shitting. Junior says, I show you my hand and you slap it away. Tony's like, why can't we talk like adults? And then Junior says, this is nuts. He says, next time you come in here, come in heavy or not at all, which means make sure you have a gun on you.
Yep.
And Tony's just like, okay. All right. So anything on this?
I don't think so. My next note's fuck Mr. Rock Lobster.
Okay. I have absolutely. Oh, I think I know where that is. The next scene is Peter McAllister and his partner, his cop partner, who, a little bit of trivia here, is Steve Buscemi's brother.
Really?
Yeah, Steve Buscemi, and he's dead. That's the guy that died from COVID.
Okay.
But Steve Buscemi is Tony B in this later. This was his brother. They're following Melfi and her boyfriend. Coming back from a diner, they pull him over, ask him if he had anything to drink. He says, I had like a glass of wine with dinner. Long story short, they absolutely abuse this guy. Peter McAllister kicks the shit out of him, says to Melfi, you're out with ground beef when you've got prime rib at home. This fuck. What the fuck? Piece of shit. Motherfucker. There you go. So now we go to Vin meeting with Vin. Peter McAllister meeting with Tony, gives him the info on Melfi, tells him that he's got like Victoria's Secret style photos of Melfi. Tony looks annoyed, doesn't want any part of that, and says that Peter McAllister has 3 bills on Rutgers that he wants to gamble with. So this guy is just an absolute degenerate. This next scene is probably where you got the Rock Lobster notes, because we go to what they call a captain's lunch, which is all the captains, they're eating at the Bing and they're eating lobster like it's like they're hamburger and French fries. They're talking about how nobody wants to be the boss. One of the guys is like, I've got a son that's got MS. I don't want to be. Tony kind of wants to be, but they kind of say like nobody wants to be the boss of this family. If you notice, Jimmy Galtieri is sitting there, and Raymond, who's the guy with the glasses, they both end up being rats anyway. Jimmy will find out about that soon. But yeah, just a weird scene to me. It's one of those scenes you don't really get to see Tony in after this, because Tony was a captain at this point, not a boss.
Yeah.
So we get to the school with AJ. Again, the storyline I hate.
Yep.
They start to fight again. AJ gets absolutely fucking mollywopped here.
Yep.
Which is kind of worth it.
But what's he fucking say? Nobody won. It was a draw.
It was a draw. And
Fuck
then
this kid.
they plan to meet at the pit tomorrow at 3:00. Again, another 3:00 reference.
It's true.
This ties in
later.
This ties into the next scene where Tony's at a hardware place. He sees the kid's father, and actually Tony's trying to get DDT to kill whatever. No, not that kind of DDT. But he's the guy's like the guy that works here is like, DDT's illegal. We don't have it. And Tony's like, I know you got it in the back. So Tony sees the other kid's dad that AJ got in a fight with. Yeah. The dad must know something, and he thinks Tony's gonna he's so scared of Tony.
Scared to death, yeah.
But Tony has no idea anyway.
Ain't got no idea.
The next scene is awesome. We're in Tony's kitchen. He passes the fuck out. That's what I have in my notes. Tony's putting away food, passes the fuck out. Tony tells Carmen he's going to quit therapy. She's like, if you quit therapy, we're done. The marriage is going to end. Now Tony's still telling her that it's a him. So that's probably why she's saying that.
That's what my next note is. It's another he reference that Tony avoids.
Yeah. And then there's a part of this that they use in commercials, where Tony says to Carmela when she threatens the marriage, Tony's like, is that a threat? And she says, no, Tony, that's a rave review. Oh, yeah. 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 And then she says to him, go get your own fucking pills. Oh, my goodness. Speaking of pills, Melfi, the next scene is in Melfi's office. She writes Tony, a script for some Xanax. This is a very important scene here. This kind of wraps up how Melfi is with Tony the entire series. She is helping. She doesn't realize it, but she's helping Tony make decisions as a mob boss. So Tony's complaining about how he's treated by Junior and Livia. Melfi offers him a book about how to deal with elderly people. And she says sometimes you got to treat them like kids and just make them think they're in charge, which comes into something that's going to happen here shortly.
Yep.
We go to the street. Chris is with a thug trying to collect money. The thug talks about Chris having shit himself and then says he gave all his money to Junior's people. Chris beats the shit out of him with a yo-yo.
Look, here's the deal. My wrestling career kind of ended due to an injury. YouTube thing, if this doesn't pan out, the next thing, then I already got it. I already know what I'm doing. I'm roughing up people and I'm taking their corners.
There you go. I have nothing against that, actually.
Yeah. So,
but what was funny is when after Chris beat him up, he says, that didn't happen what you said.
yeah.
Talking about shitting himself.
Yeah.
Thank God we're just about done with this storyline. The next scene, the kid bitches out to AJ because his dad probably told him to. He just gives him the money. The next scene, we're at the Bada Bing, which is somewhere we're probably gonna.
Awesome music playing.
Oh my gosh, I don't remember the music. So
Me either. I don't remember, but it was good. That's my note. Awesome.
But Tony's reading the Elder Care book, and then they see on the news that Jackie dies.
Yeah,
and the stripper has the line of the whole episode when she's like, "I'll never forget where I was on this day," like it's freaking JFK or something.
Yeah,
that dies. All the guys hug. They do a toast. Christopher runs in here again. Horrible timing, man.
Yep.
I don't think he realizes that Jackie died.
No, he doesn't know yet.
He's yelling about Junior. Paulie tries to save him.
He does.
Paulie is like Chris. Like he ignores Paulie. Silvio tries to save him too. They you can see on their faces they know what's about to happen. Chris yells to Tony, "This is the final scene of Scarface time. Bazooka's out. Say hello to my little friend." And then says if Tony doesn't do something, he's going to have to question Tony's leadership. You got to check out Sil's face here. I'm going to try my hardest to get a screenshot of this to put in this episode. It is hilarious. Like, he's like, oh my God. Tony snatches Chris the fuck up and says, "You're a lucky man. You're lucky a man I love died today." And then Paulie, of course, says, "You do what you're told when you do what you're told." And poor Chris. We get to Junior's again. Tony comes in. And,
First off,
yeah,
just the little quote to wrap up that whole little package. The War of 99.
Oh, yes.
The War of 99.
Can you believe it? It kind of makes I don't like it because it makes me feel old as shit. But they did say the War of 99 is about to start.
Yep.
Tony tells Junior right away that he came in heavy, but he doesn't want to use it. They sit down, they talk about Jackie for a little bit, and then Tony says, and again, you got to look at Junior's face here, that he wants Junior to be the boss. And Junior has a look on his face like when somebody tells you something that you're really excited about, but you don't want to show. You know what I mean? Yep. So like he kind of holds back his smile. And then they hug, and Junior says to Tony that he had him worried.
Junior's in charge of our friends and our lives. Uncle Junior's in charge of our friends and our lives.
And I want Junior in charge of me. God,
I want Junior in charge of me.
Oh, well, we got that one. We got through that one. This is my favorite part of the scene. Tony talks to Junior like a little kid and says, "What do you think I'd mess with a guy like you? What have you been pumping iron? Somebody call Parcells and get this guy a tryout." And then they do the shadow boxing.
Yeah.
You know, But then Tony grabs Junior's head, like, and talks in his ear and says he wants Bloomfield and the paving union contracts. And Junior's happy about being the boss, so he agrees. This goes back to what Melfi said, like, let them think they're in charge, which is what Tony's doing. He's going to let Junior think he's in charge. So now to the feds, Junior's the boss while Tony's running shit. And everybody knows it but Junior. And it's absolutely genius. One of the genius things about this show. Again, dude, I was real lukewarm on this next thing. It's kind of like a little mini storyline. We go to Meadow's room. Meadow has AJ look up this cheesy ass 1990s style internet site about the mobsters.
It's like geocities.com/the rook / my dick.
Like it looked like David Klein did it.
Back then.
Back then.
Okay.
Yes. So she says to AJ, like, how many garbage people do you know that live in a house like this? And why do we call, Uncle Paulie and Uncle Sil our uncles when they're not, related to us? So AJ is now looking at like mob printouts and stuff. Like he's all worried about it. We go to a brief scene at Melfi's house, or not Melfi's house. She goes to her boyfriend's house and he's been ghosting her. Absolutely ghosting her, doesn't want to take her calls, anything like that. So
he's scared to death.
So as AJ's looking at the mob printouts, we transition right into a scene where Tony says that he saw his first dead body at 15. He's in Melfi's office. Melfi tells him about the cop, and Tony is annoyed. And then we go to our last scene, which is actually the first time we see the feds, like when we see how the feds are looking at the Sopranos as we go to the cemetery. There's a lot of iconic pictures in this. Of course, there's an iconic picture with the 5 characters, the mob characters in their suits at the cemetery. We got a GIF of Tony winking at AJ. That's you'll see everywhere, smiling and winking at AJ, because AJ's now looking at his dad. Like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, he sees it. Yeah.
Meadow gives this real cunty look in the last scene. Yeah. And then we go to the wall. We see the feds, taking the pictures of everybody at the cemetery. And then we fade to black. And that is the end of Meadowlands. Now, look, that's not the end of this podcast, because we got something very, very special to talk about. And that is the Patreon that you can find, the SopranBros Patreon. Look, we've already got 2 patrons that have signed up for the first tier, which is the first tier is called
first tier is Halloween 2021 Limited. What we're doing, we've put out 20 available spots, and this is basically something that you can get in on the floor with the SopranBros, throw us a digital tip, and be included in the know whenever we post brand new content to Patreon and to YouTube.
And you guys, we don't normally do shout outs for
correct
these patrons, but today, just to show that leap of faith that we have in all of you, and some of this content that you're gonna get is absolutely awesome. Zach, who's the first one? Who's the first patron?
The first one looks to be... Hold on. Internet's a little slow here. First one looks to be by the name of S Charisma 9221. S Charisma 9221. Thank you very much for joining the Halloween 2021 tier. Chris Wylde, do you have the name of the second one by any chance that we will give a shout out here?
Yeah, I've got Nicole from Newark.
Nicole from Newark.
Yes,
thank you for joining the SopranBros Patreon Halloween 2021 Limited tier.
I just wonder if that's Newark, New Jersey, or if it's Newark, Delaware.
Probably Jersey, since this is a SopranBros episode.
But then I think that's pronounced. They say it 2 different ways. So Newark, but Newark, Delaware,
Newark.
And then Newark, Jersey.
I think I can help out with the Pam situation.
Okay.
It's Pan, Pan. And then we have the $3 bottom. Then we have the $3 3 o'clock, the number 3 Bada Bronze tier. And on that tier, you're going to get those normal Patreon shout outs when there aren't limited offers like we have right now. Going up to the $10 tier, the silver tier, the Walnuts Wings Club. Chris Wylde, I know this is one of your favorite ones, as Paulie is your favorite character.
He's the best. He's the best.
This one, these guys are going to get exclusive voting power. And you might ask, well, what are they going to vote on if we're covering the show Sopranos? Well, we kind of hinted that we could cover other things. We could cover video games. You could vote on a certain place we might go visit that took place within the show. Bada bing, who knows?
Yep.
From there, going to the gold tier, if you want exclusive content, behind the scenes content, fuck ups, or just me going on Kush infested rants, you're going to get it here. You're going to be one of those stuck on the wall big pussies in the gold tier.
Yes.
And look, this final tier, this is a joke. None of you have the balls. None of you have the ovaries. Nobody out there, and we know that. That's cool. We're not like busting on you. We just know that nobody out there has the balls to do it. The platinum tier for $100, where you can become a SopranBro. You get everything we've talked about, plus a live Q&A with us. And Chris, I don't know if you've checked it out, they get to co-host an episode with us.
I saw that. I'm a little worried about that.
Yeah, so
take my job.
That is a definite possibility because Chris Wylde is not that good at this. So through Patreon, I have managed to put his career on the line.
Yeah.
Something I've been trying to do in professional wrestling for a long time and failed at. But yeah, we know you guys wanted to support us. Thank you to the two of you so far that have Nicole in Newark, and S Charisma 9221. Thank you very much. There are 18 spots remaining on that dollar tier. If you guys want to get in on that, it's patreon.com/SopranBros. In the descriptions below, there is a link.
Now you talked about the voting tier. Which one was that?
That starts with your Walnuts Wings.
Walnuts Wings, and you know
Silver.
that is so. It makes so much sense to me because I've been trying to do something. And I'm going to talk about. This is just us talking right now. Mm-hmm. I obviously live on the SopranBros, but I've wanted to do, and I mentioned this to you. We've seen in every episode so far, including this one. ZacTheRipper.com, Zac The Ripper Comics, loves to sing, absolutely loves to sing. I want to do a live SopranBros karaoke. ZacTheRipper.com, Chris Wylde, where these guys can vote on songs that we sing karaoke live. We could have guests that could also sing karaoke live. It could be some of the Patreons that join us.
SopranBro. It's in there somewhere.
Yeah, a live 3-hour extravaganza where we're eating wings because it's Wally Walnuts. We're drinking Trulies or whatever, and we're doing some karaoke, and it could be a huge thing. And if you are a Patreon, you get first dibs on everything.
Absolutely. The voting for this would start at the Walnuts Silver $10 tier. The exclusivity to see the content before anybody else, you can be a big pussy.
Nice. Never thought I'd want to be a big pussy before, but all right. Well, they're very exclusive. They're very exclusive. Oh man. With that being said, we are rolling right through these episodes here. We're almost at we are at episode 5, which will be next. And
Chris, you did not give us your final score though.
Man, it's for me. I'm going to be honest with you. It's a 3. It's a 3 out of 5 because I hated
3 out of 5.
I hated the AJ storyline. Yes, I hated the AJ story. This AJ storyline, and Meadow being weird in the whole thing.
And I gave it a 5 out of 5.
Boom, 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 boom. There you go. There you go. But look, we'll see next week. I'm excited about.
Next episode.
The next episode. Yeah. Next episode.
Dr. Dre said.
Yeah. Everybody forgot about him. But with that being said, guys, ZacTheRipper.com. Professional wrestler Chris Wylde. We will see you next time. Keep an update at all the SopranBros channels, Patreons. There's going to be tons of information coming up. Again, that little karaoke thing we don't have nailed down, but once we do, we will let everybody know. And that being said, I don't really have a tagline to end this. Do
My
I?
dick.
Can't get any better than that.
You're looking for the absolute best t-shirt to rock. It's not going to be the rock shirt. It's not going to be your favorite sports jersey. It's going to be the official Zac The Ripper Comics t-shirt. You can find this actual shirt along with a barrage of over 50 plus items at the Zac The Ripper Comics Teespring store. The link is in the description below. If you go on there, if you purchase one of my items, let me know, send me a direct message on any of my social media, and I will feature that in an upcoming video. If you'd like to be in one of my videos, please go purchase one of the shirts, one of the anythings. There's leggings, all kinds of cool stuff on there, and I will put you in a video. One last time, check it out, the official Zac The Ripper Comics t-shirt, nice and bright, cutting its way, ripping its way into your hands. That's the show, folks. I want to thank all of my patrons over at patreon.com/Zac The Ripper Comics for supporting the channel. Not only are you getting exclusive content that you cannot see anywhere else but on patreon.com, but you're also getting some awesome merchandise courtesy of our Teespring store, link in the description below. T-shirts, hoodies, fanny packs, dog sweaters, and even the ever popular ladies leggings. For everybody that liked us on Facebook, found us on Instagram, hit up the ebay.com/Zac The Ripper Comics store for all of your comic book needs. And last but not least, hit the thumbs up on this video, hit the bell for notifications so you know when we go live or when we post brand new content. Until next time. Now that's a hit.